Packer fans acknowledge Walter Payton after the fact. Maybe the Packers will acknowledge Brian Urlacher after the fact. Or maybe the Bears will acknowledge Aaron Rodgers after the fact. He's Aaron Rodgers, Packers quarterback, joining us. How are you?
I'm doing good, Dan. Thanks for that segue there.
Yeah, that was pretty smooth, wasn't it?
That was very good, yes.
Do you think that Bear fans will eventually come around and say, you know what, Rodgers, pretty good quarterback?
Well, I think it might depend on how the next, 6, 7, 8 years of my career go. If we beat them down pretty good for a while, then I'm not sure there's going to be a whole lot of love there. But as to your comment before you introduced me, I think there's a lot of respect for Brian Urlacher because he's been doing it for, I would say, at least 4 or 5 more years than I have, and I think once you get over 10 years in this league, there kind of is a league-wide respect because you realize how difficult that is. So maybe Packer fans don't like Brian or Lance Briggs, but I can tell you they really respect him.
What would be the reaction, you walking down the street in Chicago?
Well, it's happened before, but thankfully it's been at night. We've had a couple games down there, and we stay right there on Michigan Avenue, and I mean, that's like a playground, especially when you're living in Green Bay most of the year with those stores, and especially around Christmas time. Coach always tries to tell us not to do this, but a lot of guys, get in some last-minute shopping there because of the great opportunities with the stores there. So there's always some bags coming back, but most of the time people don't recognize you, but nobody's talked any trash to my face. Now, I don't want to say that as an encouragement to people to do that because I'm not looking to get in any silly arguments like that. But I'd say in general, the Chicago sports fans are very knowledgeable, very passionate about their sports. But I think there's a respect level with those fans for opposing players, although they don't really like us at all.
He's Aaron Rodgers, Packers quarterback, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. Eli Manning hosting Saturday Night Live this week. Cleared that up. Did you? Were you offered the opportunity?
I was given a few dates this off season, but unlike previous years where most people decide to get married in the summertime, the dates they gave me were the days of marriages that I was either standing up in or really, really wanted to go. So it didn't work out this off season. I'm hopeful I'll get another invite later on. It's a great show, and I'm sure Eli's going to do a great job, especially if his sense of humor is anything like his brother's.
I don't know. Peyton put the bar up there pretty high.
Way high.
I mean, it's like Montana in Super Bowls, that kind of performance.
It was. It was. I mean, I'm a big fan of the show, and for whatever reason, whenever an athlete gets on there, it's only natural to kind of compare it to Peyton. And I mean, the skits he did, especially the one on the field with the little kids, and when he's teaching them and they're trying to break in the car, and I mean, it was incredible.
I mentioned your work at the Super Bowl. Not many people make their broadcast debut in front of, I don't know, few million people. How nervous? Compare and contrast nerves with doing that and actually playing in a Super Bowl.
You know what? The nerves of doing the show with you guys, the pregame show, was more. Although I had I didn't have a difficult job that you guys do with the more segments and the information you guys got to know and to be able to recall facts quickly. I was nervous because the Super Bowl had 2 weeks to prepare for that team, a lifetime of playing football to think about that moment. There was a lot of excitement to get the game going. With the Super Bowl show, the thing I was most thankful for was the previous day to be able to rehearse everything. I felt better after that. And then once we got going and got into it and got past the first couple segments, I felt good. But, I mean, you guys use kid gloves with Heinz and I, and and really helped us out, working with Bob, who's done it forever, and yourself, and Coach, and Rodney. I mean, you guys, I'm not trying to pump you up, but you guys were really easy to work with, and you gave us, like, softball, like, here you go, take this one, So you helped us look better for sure.
I'm looking at these quarterbacks who are drafted. I don't know if you watched the draft, but the expectations now you were fortunate in some ways. You got to sit behind Favre and absorb it. Now these guys are coming in. Robert Griffin III and Andrew Luck had better be stars. I mean, it's tough enough, but what do you think of those expectations for these quarterbacks now?
Well, I said in an interview the other day, I'm glad I got drafted in 2005 when the draft wasn't what it is today. I mean, it's such a spectacle today. I mean, having their own night for the first round and second and third round on their own night, and then the rest of the rounds. I just think there's so much scrutiny on the players now. Every player that's drafted, but especially those first round guys. It's a little much. The pressure that those guys are going to be feeling, and then not many people are talking about. There's a reason that those teams were picking at the top because they didn't have great teams last year. So you're putting a guy like Andrew Luck in a situation where, he doesn't have Jeff Saturday. I'm glad we got him. Reggie came back, but I don't think it dies there anymore. The structure around him, may or may not be conducive to being able to step right in and play excellent the first year. Now, we know what happened with Peyton in his rookie year, and then ever since, he had incredible seasons, but some of these teams might not be ready right away to be playoff teams. Now, maybe they will. I mean, maybe Washington and Robert and some of the guys they brought in will be ready to go, but I just think the scrutiny on those players is so much more than it was when I was drafted as a first-round player. It's the pressure level, I think, has really risen because of the spectacle that the draft is now.
Packers sending a message, obviously, drafting a quarterback in the 7th round. Did you feel that burn, that sting?
Yeah, I was a little bit, just taken aback there that they would make a statement like that. No, I'm excited about another guy joining the room. We got a good room right now with myself and Graham Harrell and Nick Hill, who we signed this offseason. So we've been getting into our workouts, and
do you take them out to dinner?
Out in a couple weeks.
Do you pay for their dinner?
I paid for their golf a couple days ago.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
But if you're going to dinner, it's Applebee's or. Do you go to Favre's Steakhouse?
Come on now. Applebee's, we got some other restaurants here.
Okay, all right. We
got a Red Robin. Come on.
Do you go into the Red Robin?
I have, yes.
Oh,
they took my favorite thing off the menu at the Red Robin, though.
What was that?
It was this orange dreamsicle, milkshake that tasted like those orange and vanilla popsicles you used to have as a kid.
Did they look like the old Tampa Bay uniforms?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but you could get that back at the Red Robin.
No, they don't. They don't have it anymore. I was real disappointed when I went in there and they took it off the menu.
Is Favre's Steakhouse still there?
Yes.
Have you gone into the steakhouse?
Not in a few years.
Did you have to wait a couple of years, though, to get in there?
No.
Come on, I set you up there.
Yeah.
Took a couple of years, but I finally got into Favre's Steakhouse. By the way, 7 defensive players. I think they're saying you're on your own on offense. You don't need any help, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think we added some great players to the mix with our first 3 especially. We traded up for 2 of those guys and got Nick Perry as well. So,
but he's a Trojan, though. Do you have problems, though? I mean, are you able to separate? Hey, we're Pac-12, Cal Bear, USC Trojan.
Yeah, I mean, it still stings just a little bit, but when I think about losing to them there in 2004, but I think now you encourage the West Coast guys. You're excited about the West Coast guys, because they're from the West Coast, and also because it's fun to watch them try and deal with the cold. So I'm excited to get Nick. We got another player from San Diego State. So,
how long did it take Clay Matthews to get used to the cold?
Oh, he's still not used to it. He can't, he can't put as much water in his hair and flip it back in the real cold because, some of that water is going to get down the back of his uniform and be really, really cold. So
he was upset
that really bothers him.
He was upset I brought up his purple outfit that he had at the Super Bowl to you, and he goes, "Why would you do that?" I said, "Clay, you were on TV." So he goes, "I know, but you don't have to tell Rodgers that."
He's a little sensitive, Dan. You got to, really kid gloves with him. If he's making fun of you, you got to be careful not to say anything back to him because, he's definitely, with Scott Wells gone, he's probably the most sensitive guy we have in the locker room.
Well, good to visit with you. Do we have you guys on Sunday night? Do you know? I didn't.
Yeah, I think we got 2 or 3.
Oh, you do?
I think 3.
I think you got Texans. Giants.
Giants, yep.
Isn't this the time of year where I ask you if you're an elite quarterback and then it makes news around the NFL? Can we do that?
Let's make some news.
Okay. Aaron, do you consider yourself an elite quarterback?
No comment.
Aaron Rodgers, unsure if he's an elite quarterback.
Is that the CBS Evening News intro?
Yes, it is. Packer fans worried Aaron Rodgers doesn't consider himself elite. See what we do in the media?
It's crazy. I'm glad you asked the question about Eli. I was getting hit up on my Twitter that I said something mad about Eli being on SNL. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Wait, already? You didn't say anything negative.
No, I did an interview a couple days ago, and they were bashing me about saying something about Eli on SNL. I said, I didn't say anything about it. I said that his brother did a great job, and I'm sure he'll do a good job.
Aaron Rodgers, still upset about loss to Giants, rips Eli.
Give me that. Yeah, there you go.
Well, enjoy the rest of the offseason there. Good to visit with you again.
You too, buddy. Thanks a lot.
And by the way, I know that you may have heard it, but from somebody who does this every day, you and Hines did a great job at the Super Bowl. Really did.
Well, from somebody who plays a lot, you did a great job on Super Bowl Sunday as well.
Thank you. Am I an elite? Wait, ask me if I'm an elite broadcaster.
Dan, after many years in the business, do you consider yourself one of the elite broadcasters?
Hell yes, I do. Bring it on, man. Yeah. Yeah. See? That's how you answer it.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Okay. All right. Thanks for joining us.
I was channeling my inner T.O., by the way, on that no comment.
Oh, that was your inner T.O.?
Yeah.
I would love thought bubbles with you at a press conference because I always think that there's a lot going on there. And I think you could, if your thought bubbles would be really interesting.
My mom has got them down pretty good.
She knows what you're thinking.
After an interview, and I knew what you were thinking, and really wanted to stay there.
Well, good luck being an elite quarterback, and thanks for joining us.
You bet. Thanks.
All right, that's Aaron Rodgers, Packers quarterback.